Shipwrecked is a 1990 Disney film. This is directed by Nils Gaup, and this wasn't really one that really appealed to me. I watched it as part of my efforts to watch every Disney live-action film, or just every Disney film in general, and while there are things about this that I can praise, I personally didn't really care for it. What I do want to praise is the length of the film. It's only about an hour and a half, and traditionally, a lot of very action-adventure-based films like this could go on for quite a long time. And actually, I think the length of time was perfect for telling the story. We have some good performances, some nice locations, the narrative flows well enough, but I just didn't personally care for it. So, personal preference, didn't love it, but I can't really find anything about it that didn't work. I'll read the description from IMDb, because this is all I had going into it. I don't often read IMDb descriptions, but sometimes they're pretty good at summing things up without spoiling anything. And this says, a young Norwegian boy in 1850s England goes to work as a cabin boy and discovers some of his shipmates are actually pirates. And that for me didn't really appeal to me, but it does work well. We also have, of course, the shipwrecked, the island aspect of this. And for me, that's when things were visually most appealing. And in terms of the filming locations, this is actually filmed, at least in part, in Fiji, also Norway, Spain, and the UK, according to IMDb. But we do have some beautiful scenery, some gorgeous locations that makes it visually quite pleasing. Our protagonist is played by Stian Smestad, and I have almost definitely mispronounced that, so I apologise for that. And the performance there was very good. We also have Gabriel Byrne as Lieutenant John Merrick. Obviously, Byrne gave a good performance. So there's nothing about this, as I said, that didn't work. The narrative is a pretty classic adventure story, and everything flows really well. The pacing is really good. The length of the narrative is, I think, pretty great, and the characters are very likeable or very well written. The performances are very good, and as I said, the locations, the scenery, often very appealing. So I don't have any complaints. All of that being said, I didn't really like it. It's just not my kind of film. And that's not to say I couldn't enjoy it. I have watched some other kind of water-based and shipwrecked-based films where actually I've enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. That's not the case with this one, but judging it as objectively as possible, I can see a lot of positives about it. So if it sounds like your kind of film, then I'd say Shipwrecked is probably one that's worth checking out. For me personally, I'm not going to be watching it a second time. I didn't mind watching it once. I didn't love it, but it seems like a pretty decent film. Of course, if this is your kind of film and you do watch it, I'd love to know what you think about it. Maybe you actually have higher hopes for this kind of narrative and it doesn't meet your expectations. I've no idea. I'd love to know what you think. Personally, didn't love it, but honestly, there's nothing specific about it that I don't think was well done. All things considered, Shipwrecked seems like not a bad film.